Well, Dominaria United has only been out for about 10 days, and we are already getting information on Unfinity, the set to release at the same time as the Warhammer 40k precons. So let's see what Unfinity brings, and just how amazing the space world can get. Welcome on in, Dragonfolk. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I know I am. Well, you know what? Actually, today I'm not having too fantastic of a day because while we got a fantastic new little teaser into Unfinity, I'm genuinely just right out the gate, going to be honest, I'm not excited about it. I'm not. I am excited about the art that the set brings, but an unset has just never been a game changing thing for me. And now we're going to have the addition of stickers and the addition of other cards that are going to be introduced into Magic the Gathering's Eternal formats. I feel like the unset being added into Eternal formats is going to cause a lot of problems. So, for those of you who don't know, the unsets are always kind of like joke sets, right? They're joke sets that are normally silver bordered and contain a bunch of like wild cards. Like, if you were the last person to fart, your creature gets, +2/+2. Like, I'm talking like weird stuff. This is stuff you'd see in like MetaZoo. With this concept being the case, it's always been kind of a ha funny joke thing. But they've realized as they've gone through that they can actually utilize mechanics that they've used in previous unsets into the actual game, right? Much like with the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons, right? It is originally a card that was made in, I want to say it was the Unstable set. It was Unstable or one of the other two. But essentially, this card, it contained all these things like rolling dice, and it contained stuff based on an IP that was still Wizards of the Coast, but not Magic related. So it was a joke card, right? Well, now things like that have been implemented, right? We have dice rolling in sets, we have dungeoneering in sets. There's, always been kind of the weird things like, Chaos Orb is a weird concept of a card where you throw it up into the air and wherever it lands, it deals, it destroys that creature or whatever. That is a concept that, most people would consider, not a natural card, playstyle, right? So regardless of the unset being the way it is, they've made a certain amount of cards, right about like I think like a fourth of the cards from this Unfinity set, able to be put into the Eternal formats such as Commander, Legacy, and Vintage. So these will all see play somewhere in there, and that includes any of the sticker cards. And I guess there are also two new mechanics that are going to be introduced. I'm not sure whether or not these mechanics are going to be for the version of the cards, which instead of having a silver border now will have an acorn stamp at the bottom of the card. So just keep a lookout for that. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of new players to know what is a card you can use and what is a card you cannot use. So if you buy anything from Unfinity, please make sure to ask your friends, ask your LGS, ask the people around you which of these cards are correct. You can also Google all that information. Any of the cards that you can use legally will have, their own silver oval, right, with the stamp in there. It'll be a silver oval, or if they are just a common card that doesn't have anything, then that card is it doesn't have that oval in it, right? The commons and uncommons don't normally have that. So with that being the case, you're going to see a lot of confusion, right? And then on top of that, you do have the introduction to stickers. We've talked about stickers in a previous video up that way, I think. And we talk about it there. But the thing I do want to talk about is the new collector stuff that's going to be in here. So they did introduce some new foiling. What a surprise. Another kind of foiling. Just what we needed, right, everybody? Right? The game is in utter chaos right now, I would like to think. And here's what's going to make everybody feel better: a new shiny thing. So, of course, we now know about the lands, right? We've known about the lands for a while, the basic lands that come with the set, as well as the fact that there are the shock lands that are being reprinted in borderless versions of themselves in this set. So, shocklands are probably the cooler thing to come from this set, and frankly, if shocklands are the only thing I care about in here, I'm just going to buy the shocklands. I'm not going to worry about anything else. Now, as for this foiling, this is going to kind of go into the more generalized idea of their art direction for this, right? Obviously, this is an entire set based in space, right? It's a very space carnival theme going on right now. It's very colorful, very out there. The colors really pop. But for their basic lands, they want them to be, as with all unsets, the basic lands are always pretty beautiful. And with this set, they have the Planetary Spacek lands. So you see what they did there? They essentially took these basic lands, right? And they made them space themed, so they called them Spacek lands. And these Planetary Spacek lands are full art lands that you can see. They come in traditional foil and non-foil. You can find them in like 70% of draft boosters. And they're full art lands. They have very beautiful art on them. And, they're like the ground level view of a planet that is based on the mana base that you have this basic land on. But they also have those borderless ones. So I was wondering how they were going to differentiate the two. So essentially how this works is you have your Planetary Spacek lands, which are the ones with the little symbol at the bottom of them. And then you have the orbital Spacek lands. The orbital Spacek lands are essentially that same planet that you're looking at from the planetary view, but from orbit. So that's kind of neat. I like the flavor behind that, although it does kind of make for a very, how do you say, makes for a very, I feel like it's just too much sometimes. But what they're doing is they're adding a new foiling for this. They're adding this Galaxy foil. Galaxy foil is the new foiling that they're going to have for this set. I don't know how many of these cards are going to be in Galaxy foil, but Galaxy foil is just essentially, as described, the foil looks like stars in space. So with that being the case, these many of these cards are probably going to have a Galaxy foil treatment. And what I kind of wanted to rant about this, because I already just kind of have to get into it. I love Magic the Gathering, and I love the art, and I love the flavor. I love everything about it. I really do truly enjoy it. But this is something I'm going to bring up in a different video later on down the line. Something that, again, we're going to have to talk about because it's getting kind of ridiculous. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the fact that it's 10 days after the release of Dominaria United, and we're already looking through the Warhammer 40k, which has been fully spoiled, and I hope to make a video kind of overviewing that at some point. And then on top of it, we also have Unfinity releasing on the same day. So a pre-con that is super expensive and like $20 the price over what a normal pre-con would be. And then, of course, a collector's edition for it. And then you have Unfinity, which is another price increased booster box that you have the collector box and you have the draft box. And of course, after that, in November, we have the introduction of Brothers War. And then in December, I want to say, if I recall correctly, Jumpstart 2022 is due to release on the 2nd of December. So 2 things are releasing next month. Then one thing is releasing in November. Another thing is releasing in December. January, we have Dominaria Remastered. February, I believe we actually have Phyrexia All Will Become One. So when is it going to slow down, right? When is it going to slow down? I'm I love the flavor that Unfinity brings, but do I really think we needed an unset right now? I would imagine you didn't make the unsanctioned set and go, "Oh wow, this is going to sell really well," because I'm certain it didn't. If anybody else knows the numbers, let me know. But if if it sold well, I'd like to know, because I'm sure unsanctioned did not sell very well, and frankly, I don't know why they would put their efforts towards an unset if it wasn't important. The only reason I believe this unset is being created is so it can really bring more shocklands into the market and bring down their prices, right? Borderless shocklands, they have just about every other main land in a borderless art now, right? So they have the pain lands in borderless art. You're getting a bunch of I believe the fetch lands have extended arts. Maybe not. I can't remember which ones have extended arts. You have all those borderless pathways and borderless slow lands. And I mean, everything is slowly but surely becoming borderless. And so this is probably a vehicle for that to occur, right? That is the whole reason this set is even coming out as it is, and it's probably to replenish the market with a bunch of shocklands. Now the problem here is that how many people, even after what is happening with Dominaria United, right, and the fact that the prices are continuing to drop day by day, why does Wizards think that now everybody's just going to go, okay, well, I didn't buy Dominaria United, which means I can buy Unfinity, a set that is probably going to have little, if not no, actual value in the game itself. The only thing it's going to do is contain a bunch of stuff for people's like weird uncubes and so on and so forth. But I think it's just a strange avenue. And again, I want to be very clear. Wizards of the Coast is releasing products too fast, and a regular consumer like myself cannot keep up with it. I have only spent money at an LGS for singles recently. That is it. I've bought singles, and even now and again, I'll sometimes buy a pre-con deck because I don't have to worry about buying individual singles and being able to just open a deck and play it if I don't already own it. So, with something like that being the case, I'm really, really concerned on whether or not I'll ever choose another standard set to open, right? I love Dominaria United, and I was happy that I was able to open a couple pre-releases with my girlfriend and really kind of get a feel for the set. But overall, this is definitely too much. I'm happy with Unfinity, and I feel like they could have released these lands at Secret Lairs, and they probably could have made more money. But hopefully, these don't go for an arm and a leg, so I can pick up a few. But again, this is going to be another skip for me because I just genuinely cannot see myself buying them. I would like to buy one of each Shockland. That is what I would like to do. Everything else from the set does not interest me at all, not one bit. And I assume most people feel the same way if you're getting real deep into Magic the Gathering. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Is this just going to be a vehicle for Shocklands and everything else is just going to kind of go to the wayside and be garbage? Or is this going to revolutionize the Eternal format and Commander is going to completely get blown away with all of these sticker cards, and also with the addition of Warhammer 40k cards now, like the entirety of the Commander scene is going to change abruptly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. And I do also have a Patreon link in the description down below if you are looking to support me in a more monetary way. We do have a cool little gemstone tier where I give away some packs to everybody every month. We're coming up right around that time where I got to make a video for everybody there. So hopefully everybody has great pulls in their packs. And maybe you can be one of those people too if you decide to sign up. So thank you all so much for watching. I do really appreciate your support. And I will see you all very soon. Nerd out.